Hello, cartoon airplane fans. So this is kind of a hodgepodge video here. The reason why is I had to build some of this stuff. I basically bought these figures and painted them myself because they cost a lot of money if they're already painted. I also don't want to mention the seller because some of the parts are broken. But if you're really interested in getting this, you could buy a kit and possibly a finished model off of eBay. There's several listings there. You just look up Q version B17. So all this stuff came in a box, and this was literally just taped to the top of the box. And inside of this is some landing gear accessories, it seems. We'll get to that later. The figures were in a bag, and two of the feet were broken off. We'll get to the figures later. I did buy a stand. This was just raw plastic, like this white plastic, so I just rattle canned this brown. We'll get to the stand after I look at the plane. And it did come with this like Gundam kind of stand as well. Alright, the disturbing part though is inside of this box. I've also seen some listings like this and this on AliExpress, so you might be able to find it on AliExpress also. They're really cool looking. Commercial airplanes, that aquatic airplane. They're mostly Chinese because obviously this is all made in China and they're a communist country, so but they do actually make an F-14 and an A-10 and stuff. It says top city model kits, but none of the listings mention that I could tell. So the box here, I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's a relatively strong box. So then you got this foam here. In fact, let me change the angle here. I already went through and inspected this and then put it back and just realized this is not packed very well. So the issue with shipping things is if there's any sort of movement, that's what leads to damage. It literally accelerates to the speed of gravity, 9.8 meters per second, and then runs into something. So I'll take that out. But the machine guns were just like, oh, there's one of the machine guns. Two of the machine guns were just loose in this box. And amazingly, this airplane is not damaged. Yeah, there's just like a random cuttings of foam. You know, it's not a dedicated foam for this airplane, which doesn't necessarily bother me. I just feel like it needed to have more foam because momentum breaks things. Okay, so let's get the stand out here now. It comes in you can get different liveries, decal kits and stuff like that. I went with the Memphis Belle because that's the B-17 I think of. There's been movies about it. And so reading some Wikipedia here, by the way, this is a restored version. It's at Ohio, on display in Ohio. So this is a B-17. Sorry, I had to cough. This is a B-17F, and it was delivered to the U.S. Army Armed Airline Forces, the USAAF, in July 1942 in Maine, and then it was sent to Scotland, and then I guess ultimately Basingbourn, England. All right, so it was named after the pilot, his girlfriend, his sweetheart, possibly his wife later. So Robert K. Morgan was the pilot, and then his sweetheart was Margaret Polk. And she lived in Memphis, Tennessee, so that's why it was called the Memphis Belle. Wikipedia doesn't tell too much other than that. It flew its 25 missions and then some. So I guess, you know, during this war, these planes were just shot down all the time. So it's not too often that everyone got to fly 25 combat missions and actually go home. And I think that's probably why there are movies about this particular airplane. There's the crew themselves. It's a 10-man crew. And yeah, it's just called the Flying Fortress for a reason. There's guns all over the place. So we're going to look at this cartoon version now. I'm going to get a ruler. This is very frail, so I would say the wingspan is around 19 centimeters, in that ballpark. The length is quite shortened, obviously, with the maybe 14 centimeters. Hard to say because this machine gun here, I don't even know where it comes from. This might not even be, I don't even think it's a machine gun. It doesn't look like it. It looks like an aerial, like right there. So I gotta figure out where that goes. But then there are 2 machine gun holes back here and no machine guns. So hopefully they're in that little accessory box. Let me check. I unfolded that box and there was 1 machine gun, but not 2. So then I checked the box that box was in. Nothing there. So maybe it's inside the airplane, I'm not sure, but right now I'm missing a machine gun. This just sitting on its belly freaks me out, so I'm going to set up this stand. Alright, so I have no idea why there's a steel plate here. I guess for weight, but there's no tape or anything. This is wood, which is nice. And so this piece of plastic is very loose, as you can see, so you're going to have to glue that in place. And then I guess you can put this here? I don't know. Just, I guess for weight, that must be it, right? Just to keep the thing planted. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'll have to decide later. But I definitely want to glue this into the wood. And then let's see here. There's holes here. And you can put this metal rod in at varying angles. So that's kind of neat actually, because they have different airplanes. And I guess you can pose it in a, rising or diving mode. So it's nice. You have a large selection of holes here, and they're all in different angles. So that's pretty smart. And the fit is pretty tight. Granted, I did paint this already, but I just want it to be a vertical thing, so let me come back after I glue this in place. So I use silicone glue to glue that in there, but I will note this wood base isn't flat. You see that air on the sides? It's because the wood is bowing out. So that's unfortunate, but the bottom side of this wood is a lot uglier. It's not evenly finished compared to this side, so that's... I guess if I used foam tape, it would be better. I might mess with that later. I just have double-sided tape holding that metal plate and on there right now. Alright, so I guess let's look at the top of this thing first, since I can put it on this stand. This peg hole is probably 3 millimeters if I had to guess, if it came with a Gundam stand, but let me check. Yeah, it's a 3 millimeter peg hole. This stand's actually very tall, so let me actually go over this stand now. My convoluted this review here. So really basic stand here. Guess you probably want to use clippers. So you could use any Gundam stand, honestly, but this should hopefully be okay because this is a plastic hollow model, so I don't think it's very heavy. But well, this is questionable right here, this piece of plastic. All right, let me put this on here. Will it clear the ball turret? Yes, it will. Oh boy, I don't know. Let me rotate that, see if it's better this way. At least this way, it's all cantilevered off the backs. So for now, we'll go with this. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the side view here. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. It's a matte finish, dark olive or dark green. I can't say it looks really like those photographs, but maybe those photographs aren't realistic either, right? You can see here there's a bunch of details on the wings, some sort of vents, the aileron controls, very tiny gaps and stuff. I think these are all 3D printed model kits, so yeah, you can see some step lines here, or maybe you can't, but I can see a bunch of lines there. Cool little rivet marks there on that panel. And then you'll see here some nice decals, these red circles. Oh boy, this thing is really difficult to review. Alright, the engines are probably separate pieces, and they have nice little vent details and the like. This decal here is bridging several surfaces, and it does look like it's actually going into that panel gap, so they may have used a decal softener. I can only pray these decals are underneath the clear coat. I would have to assume so, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so the leading edge of this rear wing here is black, which is nice. Some, I guess maybe pivots for the rear ailerons. It's funny, they're not really on the main one here, but maybe by design that wasn't the case. Okay, going around to the front of these engines. Oh, there's a little black here. Now you might be able to see some ridges. Those are the 3D print lines. Okay. Oh, wow. So this thing actually spins. Yeah, that'll spin. And inside is decent detail. Hold on. Let me get a flashlight here. Yeah, alright. Yeah, decent enough detail, I guess. They go in pretty far, those details, like I guess the fan blades and whatnot. For some reason I cannot zoom in. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I can definitely see the 3D print step lines. I think that it might be a hollow, engine nacelle there. Okay, there's some sort of detail there, maybe a light, but there's no paint in it. And then there's a little exhaust pipe, I guess, coming out on the right side of this this engine I'm shining on. It's not on this engine though. That's interesting. So now you can see this blue Memphis Belle character and some sort of text. It does say Memphis Belle, and then if you took the time you could read that black text. Something U.S. Army. Unfortunately, the edge of that decal is not pressed down all the way, so that's really scary. That's not under the clear coat, I don't think. Possibly it might even be a sticker. Alright, so that's a little disturbing. There's some sort of black protrusion. I don't know if that's an airspeed sensor or something. Please leave a comment if you know. And also this thing, there's some sort of egg-shaped thing on this strut. It's kind of neat, how it's sticking out there. I see there's a little line here for the separation of the yellow color. And now you can see the windows. These are 3D printed as well, but they're actually relatively clear. I might try to get in there. Well, anyways, there's a machine gun sticking through this window, which is nice. And the machine gun has, cooling vents, and the barrel is actually kind of hollow, so that's really cool. If you look here at the top of this clear dome, right here, you can see the step lines of the 3D printing process. So I'm not sure if they went and polished this after it was 3D printed, or if it's just such a good, printer that maybe you don't need to. I'm not sure. I've never had good luck with clear resin 3D printing. Now there should be paint on this thing. This frame, you can see that it's molded. This is supposed to be like olive drab here for that. there is not really a one clear piece of plastic on the front end of the airplane, I assume. Just had to stick a flash on the front of this camera. Alright. But what is nice is you can see this frame, you know, behind this clear piece, and it's got 2 machine guns sticking out. And you can see some yellow interior details. There's a high probability this comes off, actually, because I think there's magnets holding this thing on. But boy, this is really... Oh, there we go. Back out. Yeah, so clearly, unfortunately, they weren't really smart. They should really raise all these things so you'd have a chance of actually painting that frame olive drab. But they're so flush with the rest of it that I think it'd be really impossible to try to paint that without masking tape, and I'm not going to deal with it. So there are 4 tiny magnets holding this in place. The machine guns are actually pretty well detailed. They literally have the sight. This one, at least on the right, has a sight, but for some reason the one on the other side doesn't, and I think it's by design. It's literally 2 different machine guns. I don't see anything broken off there. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, pretty well detailed machine gun. It's really small. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside, and now we can look into the nose of this thing. Oh, well, that's cool. There's some decals there on the right side, some sort of control box of some sort. You can see the machine gun there has a belt feed to it. That's really neat. Wow, I can see some dials through that window over there. It's kind of hard to do this. This thing's so small, but it's through that window over there. Yeah, I guess that's the cockpit up there. So you can see some rivet marks back against the wall, or actually those are probably support structures for the 3D printed parts. But they look like rivets, so it actually works pretty well. Yeah, that actually is well done, how they used the support marks to make it look like rivets. Yeah, I don't know, maybe that wasn't intentional, but... So this yellow thing, this is the bomber's sight, I suppose. This whole platform. And this machine, I guess, the person must sit here and look through this optic to actually drop the bombs and all that stuff. It looks like there's a lamp back there on this table, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure what this is, but there's some sort of detail in there, maybe decals. A little black there. Alright, so that's really impressive. I'm trying to see if there's anything on the roof, but no, there isn't. Really cool. Really neat. Alrighty, let's move on here. So the side window here looks okay. Now the girl on this side is in red, and that is, I believe, accurate to the real thing. And it's got a bunch of bombs on there, and maybe numbers? I'm not sure what's below those bombs. Alright, so another protruding, whatever this L-shaped thing is. These things here, some yellow paint, not quite enough, and this one doesn't want to spin very freely, but I don't mind. I'm not here to really play with these things. Okay, so that's this side of the fuselage. So now in the top cockpit area, you can see there's recesses mimicking the rivets there. The glass is pretty smooth for 3D print, is quite impressive, and I think they're smart that they didn't have side glass all the way. Like there's sliding windows, so you can see right in there, and that looks pretty neat. There's 2 swastikas there. Maybe that gunner took down 2 German planes or something. Does this come off? Oh wow, so yeah, this thing does come off. And then, yeah, the machine guns have the cooling holes, and it's got the sight. You can see the 3D printed step lines. Both of these guns have sights, and look how that thing actually pivots. That's impressive. Boys. A few degrees. Not bad. I'm trying to see what's going on up in there now. Get a different flashlight. Not much, but that's fine. So there's a little magnet there. Very cool. So naturally, with a round opening, this thing can spin as it would on the real thing. I wonder if there's some sort of thing to keep it from shooting the tail off. Maybe there's like a switch where it just stopped firing at this angle or something like that. I don't know. Leave a comment if you do. Alright, now let's see if this thing comes off. And it does. So this machine gun has a frame which pivots. Alright, this back machine gun. But this back machine gun doesn't have the optics. Quite interesting. So a couple different machine guns. This side glass is not in all the way. I might have to crazy glue that later. Or maybe UV glue it. Alright, yeah. So, oh yeah, I see some stress marks there. It's interesting why they won't just print this is one piece and these two side things is something else. But anyways, there's three magnets holding this canopy in place. I put that away. Alright, so now let me change the angle again. Okay, very cool. Look at this cockpit. Nice bunch of decals there. All those gauges. Wow, that's really neat. The yokes there, yeah, they're okay. They're 3D printed, of course. Alright, so nice details there. The seats are pretty plain looking. They do have the little nubs of the support structures of the 3D print process, but the fronts are painted yellow, so that's a nice touch. I assume that's probably accurate. And then you can see these bombs on this rack. Very neat. So there's one bomb already outside of this thing. Let's take a look at this bomb here. So it's got a decal and it's got two magnets under that decal. Yeah, there's a little vents or whatever on these stabilizing fins, but you can see the nub marks of the 3D printer. I'm okay with it. You know, it's just one of the things of 3D printing. Alright, so boy, I need some tweezers of some sort. I think you can probably remove these bombs, right? If they're all magnetic. Yeah, yes you can. Alright, so that's three bombs. I see two more there. So there's gotta be four under that. Oh, there's one there. One there. Oh boy. So on this side here, it looks like there's four. And I guess one of them just fell out in the box. There's supposed to be four on this side. So you get 8 bombs that I can see. Oh wait, I'm wrong. You get 5 on that left side. So I assume there's supposed to be 10, but where's... I don't know. We'll have to see when I take the bomb bay doors off. A couple support structures there. This yellow platform looks okay. There's some internal frame ribbing there, really neat. Now you can see those side machine guns. They do have the optics, really cool. I wonder if they rotate. I think they might have a peg and we can rotate. Yes, they can. These are plastic, by the way, so I can only hope they're a durable resin when they 3D printed them. Okay, oh, I see, that's the ball turret thing, I think. So what is going on there? I don't know what... Oh, man, this thing freaks me out. I almost like... I'm gonna have to poster putty this to the stand. Hold on. I don't know what those silver things are. If they're like maybe ammo dumps, maybe, or reservoirs of ammo. Oh, that's what they are. Those are reservoirs of ammo, and they're feeding the 2 machine guns down into the ball turret through those belts. That's really neat. Very cool. Alright, so yeah, this aerial here. I never did figure out where that second aerial goes. Not yet, at least. Alright, so that's neat. Let's see about this. Yep. So 2 magnets are holding this back tail gunner window in place. You got the rivet recesses. Yeah, this plastic is not really glued. I don't think it's glued at all. I think it's just loose in the depth of the windows. So if you want it to look better, You might have to actually bust out some glue. I'll do that another time. Alright, so there's a brown like saddle there, and I assume these yellow boxes are banks of ammo. So sadly, right now, I only have one machine gun. Like honestly, I think all these machine guns shouldn't be on the model before it was shipped. They should be in a separate box, and then it's up to the user to put them in place, right? It's just really weird that you would ship something with such fragile pieces sticking out of it. It's amazing this thing didn't show up in a million pieces. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna have to replicate that and 3D print my own. Or contact the seller, see if they can give me a new one. Alright, with registration number, I think up here, the decal, the leading edge here of this is black. I was wondering if this comes off, but I don't think it does. I think it's those two rectangles holding it in place. Maybe it can, but there's no reason to. Okay, so I guess that's it for the outside, top that is. So now let's try to look at the bottom here. You can see my poster putty. So the ball turret, it does spin. I'm looking up here. I don't think the top part has any relation. Nothing's really spinning up there. But yeah, look at that ball turret. That's neat. It doesn't pivot up and down, but it does at least rotate. So that's cool. What I don't understand is like the front end here. I think they could have printed a frame and then still printed the windows just like in this ball turret. But maybe it's because this has a different, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job. But I gotta say, this is still pretty impressive actually. It's really impressive actually. Alright, so that's nice that you can rotate that however you feel fit, but bearing in mind that you're probably going to scratch paint if you rotate it a lot, so I don't know if it can go to the front or not. I'm going to just leave it like that. Nice decals here, like escape hatches or whatnot, and I think these decals are under a clear coat actually. There's no hard edge, so that's nice. Under the wings here, there's some recesses to allow those ailerons to go up and down, I guess. This might be for something in that plastic box, or another standpoint maybe? Oh, I wonder. In fact, well, I guess we're going into that now. I'm wondering if the stand that they provided, they specifically made that recess for it. No, not really. This stand doesn't have a very long rectangle, but I think it could go in here. It's a precarious thing to do, I think, to leverage all that model weight over that one area. So 4 magnets are holding the Bombay doors. Very nicely done. Nice ribbing. Very cool. Little paint blemish. That's fine. This is a bomber. This thing would have gotten so dirty, taking flak fire and all that stuff. So now, look at this. This is really cool. And probably want to use plastic tweezers, but I don't have any readily available. But yeah, so these are magnetic. Really cool. That's so neat. And then I see this hole is quite deep. I am curious now about this metal rod. No, that's not actually that deep. That's only probably 5 millimeters. That's a strange choice. They should have just made that thing go like so far in, right? Because the stand is quite tall. That's weird. They would have also saved on plastic if they made that go further up, because this thing's pretty tall. There's actually some skeleton, like structural diagonals there. I do feel like, well, I don't know. This one has closer ones. That one's in the middle. Maybe that's on purpose. Okay. You can see some crazy glue hazing. Whatever, that's fine. This is airbrushed for sure, and the person did a good job with it. better than I could do probably. I gotta be really careful with those machine guns back in the back, how to hold this thing. Not sure what those bumps are. Not sure what these black things are. And then the landing gear would go in there. Or covers. Here's an escape hatch decal. Alright, that's really neat. These machine guns are splayed out a little bit. Not sure if they should be that way. Probably not. I think I can even see, again, there might be sights. And again though, that window is not flush. It's like it's like bent inwards. Yeah, I don't know if there's any way to fix that other than taking the thing apart. Just leave it alone. Alright, so let's see. Can I put this safely down like this? Maybe. Let's see what's in this box. Pretty robust landing gear here. Okay, that's solid. Feels quite heavy. So the tire is probably 3D printed as well. There's no softness to it whatsoever, but it's well done. You can see the treads and stuff. The wheel itself is well detailed. Yeah, the landing gear's got some little shocks and linkages. Seems okay. Nothing wrong. Okay, so we got some tape. Oh, first we got this thing. This. Oh, I see. The landing gear in the flying mode. See, it's like half of a wheel. So it's supposed to just stick out, I guess. This one as well, and here's the tail wheel. Man, okay. So that's kind of loose. It's kind of. I think there's a magnet under. I'm sorry, I lost where I was pointing. I think there's a magnet right here, but there's something like in the way. So I'm gonna have to pick at it just to get that a little more flush. I might need a hobby knife. So yeah, there's definitely a magnet in this thing. Oh, you heard it click. Alright, well I guess with the weight of the aircraft, that's fine. So, curious here. I see, so in flight mode. Oh, these are magnetized as well. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there is a magnet, that circle. That's really cool. Alright. So that's nice and easy. So in flight mode, I guess bombing. That's what it would look like, sorry. Sadly, that's not a machine gun. Oh boy, I think that may have broken out. So this is, I mean, I guess it's nice that they taped it, but clearly it wasn't glued in properly, or maybe it's not supposed to be glued in. So these are the bomb bay doors in the open position. Just looking at this one, I assume this has to go up in here. I don't know if I got these correct or not. Yeah, so might have to add some glue. Alright, that one. It's 2 magnets for each of these. So I don't think these black linkages are supposed to actually peg into anything. I think that's supposed to, the curvature is supposed to go follow the wing, I think. So I think I actually just lucked out on guessing which side is which. So those being magnetic, that's really cool. Right? Look at that. That is awesome. Oh boy, hold on. I am gonna get these bombs out of here. So these struts are put in with some sort of soft glue, so I pulled them out and spread them out as much as I could. Alright, I took out all but one bomb. I'm not sure if you can see in there the magnets, how they're 1, 2, yeah, very cool. The magnet stacks, very neat. There's, you notice the inside of the bomb bay doors is a different color than what's going on up there. I'm fine with it, it's fine. So I'm going to carefully put this on this stand here. Again, I wish I might have to. Oh, you know why that can't go very deep? Because the floor is right there. They want to preserve the floor. I would actually be willing to accept a big mound in the middle of that floor if I could have a deeper peg stand. Well, I guess it probably won't, you know, fall off ever. Let me change the camera angle. I guess now's a good time to talk about the figures. So the figures were that white plastic, and as mentioned, 2 of the feet were broken off, but I crazy glued them on. But the problem is, I don't know where the 3rd foot went. It's gone. It's so small. So 3 of the feet were actually broken. Only 2 were discovered. They do give you plenty of magnets to put these in. So what's, you know, it's kind of smart that you can take a magnetic head and pop them onto any body, and then you could also pose that head, right? They also give you a large multitude of decals, so you can have different expressions, which I have on all these things. I will say it took a long time for me to paint these, probably like 6 or 8 hours. So if you want to kill time, I highly recommend making model kits, because it takes forever to paint stuff. I didn't even put a paint wash on these guys. So the way they molded these bodies is they have the life vest, which is yellow here. And technically these belts are supposed to be like an off-white based on the research I did, but I was too lazy. How I painted these, I think I would do a different way. I painted them green first, but in reality I think it would be smarter if you painted them yellow first, because painting that yellow was difficult on top of the brown. But it'd be a lot easier to have the whole thing painted yellow and then paint the brown stripes over that. Yeah, the harnesses and all that stuff. It's well done, right? That harness is actually floating. Okay, so you got a couple different bodies here. Well, let me just show you this image. So you got this standing up person for those people there in the waist and the turret. Then you got the tail gunner sitting down, so basically he's got that hat. And then you get the people up in the cockpit. They got fancy caps and they're sitting. And then the boat hat, I don't know what the boat hat, where the boat is. Bomber co-pilot, maybe that's the Top Gun, I don't know. And then the spherical turret gunner, meaning I should be able to get that sphere open if I'm going to put a person in there. Anyways, alright, so if you don't want to go through hours of painting, you can buy them painted, I think, at some of the places. But yeah, I did an alright enough job. So you can see all the faces are different because it gave you plenty of options there. And one thing I didn't like about these figures is the hole for the magnets is very big compared to the magnets they give you. So even with crazy glue, the magnets would come out very often. I wish that it was a friction fit and crazy glue, but they're so loose it took probably an hour just to put the magnets in. And when you're putting magnets in, you gotta make sure you have them all in the same orientation so you can swap heads around, right? So that takes time. But I did manage to do it, and I still had like maybe 4 or 6 extra magnets. Alright, so it's kind of neat, right? You can just put a body. Oh, I found the other machine gun. It was fell out of the box somehow. Oh, I'm so happy. Because I didn't want to sit there and redesign parts of things I already purchased. Sweet. So, somehow it fell out. But yeah, really, these tiny parts should really be in a separate bag. This is all the machine guns, I think, should probably be in a separate bag. We'll do landing mode later. So let me try to figure out putting these people in. You know, maybe I should do landing mode now. It'll be easier. In fact, I also have to figure out how to get this sphere out of here. Because this thing is closed off, right, on the top. Boy, I don't want to break this. Oh, there's probably a keyway. I probably have to rotate to a certain angle. And then it should come out. Oh boy, that... So, bear in mind, that machine gun was touching that tire and I almost broke it. That's sketchy. They should move that wheel back. There it is. Alright, so, no, there's just 4 magnets holding in place. Seemed really... Oh, no, wait, there is like a key there. And what is this? Oh, maybe that keeps it from spinning too far? I don't know. I don't know why this thing would be... I don't think this is necessary. That's just a remnant, I guess. But I guess you could want to leave it because it helps you spin it. Without that thing, it might be difficult to spin this. But I think I want to end up... Let's see what's going on up here. No. Oh, I can see that black dome spinning a little bit. But nothing else goes with it. Well, I was wondering if it'll spin all the way because I kind of want it in the back, but maybe this is an optic, like a sight or something like that, but it wasn't painted. Alright. Careful. Yeah, you can see again, this side window is just not... maybe it was just loose from shipping or something. Alright. So yeah, the 2 little machine guns looking pretty nice. Maybe not enough black on that one, but no big deal. So let me find that crouching gunner body. Is this person here. So unfortunately he's got a captain's hat on, so nope. Let's get this person. Well, I don't think this person would be happy in there. Let me find an appropriate head. This guy. This guy looks a little bit crazy. Stupid and crazy, because I think you'd have to be both to get into a ball like this. I don't think once you got into this you could get out until the plane landed again. So, and then also people got crushed in these things if the landing gear may have broken and stuff. There's no actual seat here that I can... Oh, no, there is a seat. It's just not painted. So I think maybe poster putty would be logical here. Yeah, alright, I gotta come back. So that's how I have him oriented. Push him down on the middle of that seat. He's sticking out a bit though. Let's see if it fits though. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can see this character now. Well, you know, it's a distorted window. You can see him smiling in there. Suicidal character there. Alright, let's move on here. I guess I gotta get these tail gunners, side waist gunners. This is the tail gunner. I have him falling asleep here. You know, there's no magnets on the bottom of these people. It's only the head. It would have been cool if the butt had a magnet so you can just have those people, you know, magnetized in. Getting this one in, maybe you want to get the head in later. Yeah, so, yeah, it's gonna be rattling around. Yeah, the guy just totally fell out. So I'm gonna have to get some poster putty on that one as well. Jeez, so I got poster putty in there, but you see those magnet things? Ideally they'd be off to the side, but maybe they need more material to trap them in there, but you can't put this thing on now. So I think what you're gonna have to do is literally put this head into this window, and then it'll magnetize at some random angle. Nope. Maybe like this. Try to get the head in the general orientation. Boy, this is definitely fidgety. The landing gear thing fell out. There we go. Alright, so that's the trick there. Yeah, he's quite visible. That's really neat. Now again, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to fit magnets into the feet of something so small. So, boy, I don't know. It's almost like you would want to glue these characters in, because, or just be careful with poster putty. I will be back again. So that wasn't fun at all. It took over an hour. The reason being is people aren't actually designed to fit these seats. They're just like, they don't really sit against the seats very well. But anyways, I did manage to get everyone in there. That guy's back behind this bomber guy. The pilot's there. Those three people there. This one's just loose. But these guys are actually trapped by the machine gun, so they don't actually need to be glued down. I used crazy glue after a while because it just, the magnets are so strong. Poster putty, not so great. Alright, so let's get this thing up on this stand now. Put the nose cone thing on. I wonder if that's colliding with that person's hand. Machine gun. Oh, there it goes. Cockpit. And the top gunner. So to get the top gunner in, you gotta point these machine guns upwards, or the head will never get past the back end of the machine guns. Now that the head's in there, I guess you could probably, no, I guess that's just the way it is. The head is a little bit too wide for the spacing of those machine guns. Alright, well anyways, it's nice that, you know, there are no windows here. You can clearly see that character there. And you could, you know, with the magnets, just twist their heads around, right? So, pretty neat. I rather like it. And you could swap their heads around very easily. So I do like, you know, the magnetic feature quite a bit. Alright, so now, since this is on a steel pole, it would make sense to now just take some of these bombs pretty neat, right? I think so. Let's just get them on right now. You kind of have to look for the magnets though. There's still two in the actual thing, but, and then you probably want to line them up a little bit better around this pole, but I think for the sake of the video you get the idea. Get a light on the bottom side of this thing. That's so cool. It's a scale model. Well, it's not a scale model, but it's a model. But it's also a toy in a way. You're gonna literally play with this thing, repose the heads and all that stuff. The one thing that's still nebulous to me is this thing that looks like that antenna. I don't see any hole where this may have come off. It's really strange. Maybe it goes into one of those wing openings in the front edge of the wing, but well, I'm gonna just leave it be. So, alright, that's pretty cool. Now I guess the last thing we have to do is have it in the landing mode. So we just gotta pull out the magnetic small wheel and then pop in the giant landing wheel. You'll notice a huge variation in size between flight and landing. And it's because they want to leave the bomb bay doors open. Yeah, so that works there. Well, I'm definitely going to display it with this bomb sequence of bombs here. Boy, that's a long video, but this is actually really cool. It's very expensive. Well, you know, I guess it wasn't that expensive, all things said. But I buy a lot of stupid things here, so everything's relative. Almost my entire channel is just stuff you don't need, is toys. But, you know, if I can hopefully save you some money by not buying things you don't want, or maybe just spending your money more wisely on good toys, hopefully part of my channel can help people out there. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys checking this video out, and boy, be careful though. If you do buy this, be mindful that there's a good chance parts are going to be broken, because I don't think the people that make these things know how to pack anything. Like, they're not really good at shipping stuff. So that's why I'm not going to mention where I got this. Alright, well, hopefully your mileage will be a little bit better than mine. And we'll see you in the next deformed airplane video.